Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Kyle here with KGTV, and today I wanted to do a comparison between the iPad Magic Keyboard and the Logitech Folio Touch keyboard case for the iPad Pro. So I got both of these, and I didn't really know which one I wanted to go with. I was kind of debating on both of them. So what I decided to do was I got the Magic Keyboard first, and my goal was to test it out and see how I like it. And if I liked it, I was going to actually try to find a used one on eBay or something like that, just because the $300 price tag is pretty high on this keyboard. The day I picked this up, I picked it up at a Target for $300. And the day I picked this up, I was watching, I was just searching around on YouTube, and the channel Max Tech talked about the Folio Touch by Logitech. And I said, wow, that seems to have some pretty cool features that I think I would like to have in an iPad Pro case. So I decided to order this one and just kind of compare the two and then determine which one I liked better, and then return the other one. And I have to say, this is really tough. I'm still debating on which one I want to keep and which one I want to get rid of. So I'm going to give you guys some of the pros and cons between the two keyboards that I found, and hopefully help you guys make a decision, and maybe you guys can help me make a decision. So I'm going to start off with the iPad Magic Keyboard. So I'm just going to put the Folio Touch off to the side. So this is the Magic Keyboard. I did have the Smart Keyboard Folio for the iPad before, and it gets the job. It gets the job done if you know, you want the tactile typing experience on your iPad, but it's definitely a little limited. And if you're okay with constantly having to touch the screen and stuff like that, I mean, it is an iPad, so that is something that you know you're going to have to do, you know, using the iPad. I'm actually going to move my mic over just a little bit. Sorry, I had to kind of rig this up. So, once I saw the Magic Keyboard, I thought it looked pretty sweet, but I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do, just because the price tag was fairly high. And I saw people giving it rave reviews and stuff like that, and saying that it really adds an element to the iPad Pro experience, which just in the first couple hours, I definitely noticed that I got a new sense of enjoyment using the iPad Pro. Just having the trackpad, having the keys. I actually really like the keys on the Smart Folio as well. So if that's the route you end up going, and you're okay with like touching the screen and stuff, and maybe using the Apple Pencil to navigate your way around the iPad, that's totally fine. And the one thing I will say about the Smart Folio is that the way that the keys are, you can't get anything under the keys, so there's nothing to really worry about in terms of, like, if you were to say spill something on the Smart Folio, you can't get anything under the keys. I don't know if that's the same with the Magic Keyboard. I'm not sure. I mean, there's definitely space underneath the keys and on the sides of the keys, so I'm not sure if stuff can actually get underneath and damage it. If someone knows that, if you guys want to leave that in the comments, that would definitely be helpful. But yeah, after I got the Magic Keyboard, besides the price, the thing I noticed the most was just the fact of it does add a decent bit of weight compared to the Smart Folio. That's to be expected just because, you know, it has a keyboard, it has the stiffer, you know, mounting system and everything like that. So it does add a decent amount of weight. I would say it almost doubles the weight of the iPad. So you have your iPad originally, I would say kind of try to imagine that weight doubled at least, and that would be the weight that you have with the Magic Keyboard. One of my biggest gripes that I noticed about the Magic Keyboard, and it's not a huge deal to some people and everything like that, obviously we don't have the row of function keys and stuff like you have on the Folio Touch, which is one of the benefits to the Folio Touch. But one of the things I kind of noticed that I liked better on the Folio Touch is that if I angle this a little bit, it actually almost, I'm not sure if you guys can see this in the screen, but I'll try to put some B-roll footage. But the iPad actually kind of overhangs on some of the keys. So like whenever I was trying to type the top row and I had the iPad fully bent, I was kind of like hitting the screen. I just wish that there was like more space between the screen and the top row here. That was one of the things I kind of noticed. It's not a huge deal, but it's definitely a little bit annoying. The other thing that I noticed about using this is that the trackpad on this is more horizontal, kind of. I don't even know if it's longer necessarily. I don't think it's longer, but it's kind of missing a little bit of space down here, in my opinion. Some of you guys might be okay with that, but whenever I use a trackpad and everything, I kind of tend to have like my thumb just kind of resting somewhere and using my pointer finger to kind of navigate the mouse and then clicking with my thumb. But I found that with the Magic Keyboard, I was missing a little bit of room down underneath. So I was having to kind of leave my thumb off the pad and just use one finger to do everything. That might be a minor issue to you guys. You guys might not even think anything of that. You guys might only use one finger whenever you use something. So that was something that I kind of noticed, and that's one plus that I kind of give to the Folio Touch, is that the trackpad, it's got a little bit more, I guess, depth to it, and I found it just a tad more comfortable because I could leave my thumb on there, for pinching and zooming and stuff like that. It just felt a little bit more comfortable on the Folio Touch. The keys on this feel really good. The hinge is super sturdy, which I really like. It almost seems like it could go... I kind of wish that this could go back more, but be straight up. I brought up the point about the top row. Like if this could kind of fold back a little bit, it would give you so much more space right in here. And I think I've heard that the reason why they can't put another row of keys is because they do have this charging port over here. So some of the cabling and stuff is underneath this section. So I do like that the screen kind of has that laptop look to it and it kind of is elevated. I do really like that. I didn't like it so much on the smart keyboard Folio, whatever, that it was kind of like the Folio Touches where the screen is resting down here and it's not elevated up in the air. But overall, besides the price, if you can handle the price, you're not going to be disappointed with this in any way. Obviously, it's an Apple product. It's made well. It functions well. The trackpad is great. Besides the width and stuff that I was talking about earlier, you can click anywhere on this touchpad, trackpad, and it clicks in. That's a little bit different than on the Folio Touch, where the trackpad kind of, this area is a dead zone, and then as you get closer to the bottom, it kind of does that, where it'll kind of dip down. I didn't notice that. It wasn't a huge deal to me on the Folio Touch. There were some times where I did click and I was kind of in the middle of the trackpad and it didn't register the click. But once you get used to it, it's totally fine. So it's not a big deal in my opinion. I do like that this just kind of pulls off just like that. And now I can go use my iPad, and then just to put it back on, you're done. I do like that a lot. It's pretty slick. And whenever you want to close this up, you just close it up. And there's kind of the thickness that you can see. And I know people have touched on this before, and I had the same issue with the Smart Keyboard Folio. Is I do like this texture and this feel on the case, but it does get these weird smudge marks and they don't really come off. I don't know what causes them. I think it's just the way the material is. It does something funky. So that's kind of why I wouldn't mind getting one of these used. If the keyboard and trackpad are in a good condition, these smudge marks that you get on these cases, they're going to happen eventually. And you're not, like, even if you take really good care, you're just going to look one time and be like, ooh, what's that mark? And they just show up. It just showed up on my Smart Keyboard Folio. I don't know where it came from. I like baby my electronics and stuff like that. And it's just going to happen. So say you find one of these on eBay or something like that, and you know it is used, but the trackpad and keyboard's in good condition, and you see that it has some smudge marks or something, they're going to happen eventually. So I would say if it's a good price, I would still go with it, which is what I'm kind of thinking about if I go this route. So overall, my takes on this: awesome design for sure. It's got this USB-C charging port here so that you can sorry, I saw a smudge on here. I don't know where it came from. You have this USB-C charging port so you can charge the keyboard case while using the other USB-C port on the iPad Pro. That's really cool, and that's probably one of the bigger selling points to this. If you're using this thing for, you know, all kinds of work and video editing, and maybe you're doing music stuff on here or editing photos or anything like that, and you need constant power, that's going to be a huge plus to some people. It's going to be kind of up to you if you think it's worth the additional price. To me, I could see me using that, but it's not a hardcore feature that I think I need. I do use my iPad a lot. I use it for watching YouTube videos and editing some video stuff on there and just general consumption. So I think if I charge the battery and everything like that, I could use it and it would be fine. I don't really need things connected while charging. I'll usually just take pictures off my SD card or video and put it on the iPad, and then I'll disconnect it. So not a huge deal for me, but if you're a super power user of the iPad and this is replacing your laptop, that might be a selling point for you. So besides the price, this is an awesome keyboard. If you don't mind the missing function keys and you can handle the price, you can't go wrong with this. So now we're gonna move over to the Folio Touch. Now, I will say I was a little skeptical about this thing, just because sometimes when you get a third-party case or anything like that, they just don't work that great. There's always some sort of hiccup or something. I will say I've been pleasantly surprised with this case, and the fact that it is half the price of that, it's pretty wild. So this is the case. It kind of reminds me of like a Trapper Keeper from back in the my grade school days. And this is what it looks like and everything like that. You have your flap here, which is magnetic. It just magnetizes on the back of the case. Pretty slick design. You have this, oh, whoopsie. Sorry about that. You have this like rubber gasket that goes around the edges, and yeah, it's pretty nice. It protects the outer rim of your iPad, which gives you a little bit more sense of comfort carrying it around and stuff like that. You don't feel that, you know, if you were to accidentally drop that, it's going to take some damage, where in this, I think you'd be okay. So obviously one of the big differences is this row of function keys up at the top here. You have your escape key here and your volume buttons and everything like that. I will say that I didn't think I would mind not having the function keys as much, but just watching YouTube videos and stuff and being able to hit play and pause was awesome. Like, that was sweet. It worked flawlessly. The trackpad being a little bit bigger feels great. It works really well. I didn't have any issues swiping back and forth between screens or using the 3-finger gesture, anything like that. The keys feel great. I would say I maybe prefer the keys on the Magic Keyboard a tiny bit over these, but these are still really good. I would say this is probably maybe a 9.5 out of 10, and this is like a 9 out of 10. So like, and it might even be closer than that. So I don't think you're going to miss out on any sort of feeling between the two. It's got a really cool texture here. I dig the texture a lot. One of my biggest issues with this, though, is that you have this slick transfer kind of method thing with the Magic Keyboard, just being able to pull it off, put it on. That is so cool to me. With this, once it's in here, it's kind of like it's in here. It's not leaving this thing, at least not easily. It's a little annoying getting it in and out, but I mean, really, if you have it in there, you're probably not going to want to take it out really ever. I don't see why you would need to keep taking your iPad in and out of this thing. So it's all going to depend on what you value in a case. Now, I will say too, one of the things that was a little annoying as well on this is that because it doesn't have that like firm hinge, whenever you pick up the iPad and it's in here, this does this. And it's because you can flip it underneath, which I really like that you can flip that underneath. A lot of the times I'm using my iPad, you know, I'm holding it like this. but feeling the rigidity in this case, and then going to using this, and then like, you know, I pick it up to go walk away, and I didn't fold the case under, and then it's just flopping around like that. It's not the most desirable thing, I guess, but it's not that big of a deal either. To some people, they might not care. And I think it just serves a different function. This case is definitely a case that I could see you just leave on a desk like this. And you take your iPad off, you walk around the house, do some stuff, come back, you leave the case plugged in on your desk, you slide your iPad on, and it's charging and ready to go. So it could be kind of like a little station for your iPad, where this is going to be more of, I guess, in a way, a travel companion, because it's got the protection around the sides. It's got this flap that will keep your Apple Pencil more secure. And yeah, I mean, you could travel with both of them fine, obviously, but this one I think I'd feel a little bit safer traveling with. I'm going to take this out of the Magic Keyboard here, and I'm going to put it in here just to kind of show you guys how this works. So I'm just going to flip that back, pull this off. See, that's so sweet to me how that works. And how you have to do this, you kind of want to put the bottom in first, and then you just put the top in, and then you're ready to go. So I mean, it's easy getting it in and everything like that, but getting it out's a little bit of a different story. And the one thing that I noticed that was kind of bugging me about this case in particular was pulling the kickstand out. Like when I have it facing me, I mean, it's doable for sure, but it's just a little cumbersome. It's not as slick as that design is, for sure. But as I was talking about on this, the Magic Keyboard, how I wish there was more space from the top row of keys of the screen. If you look at this keyboard, you have all this space between the screen and the keys. And I personally prefer that. It makes the screen feel a little bit further away. It's not raised, which is a little bit of a bummer. But I just felt like my fingers weren't crammed if I needed to use any of these buttons up here, where on the Magic Keyboard, like I was kind of hitting the bottom of the screen sometimes. This the case is super versatile. You know, you get up to walk around, and then there you go. And then if you want to prop it up, you just take it, and then there you go, and you're set. I tried this on my lap, and it surprisingly worked well. I had no issues actually using it on my lap. It sat up. I wish it was a little bit firmer like the Magic Keyboard, but it's totally doable. And if you're someone who needs to draw or constantly is using the Apple Pencil on your iPad, this might be the better case for you, unless you enjoy like taking your iPad off and just drawing flat. But you know, the fact that you could flip this underneath and then just start drawing on it, and then, you know, flip it back, that's kind of nice. So if you're someone who's constantly using the Apple Pencil, maybe this is the case for you. I do like the texture, as I mentioned before. The only thing is, I'm not sure what it's made out of, and I don't know if this could get stained. I was just picturing like if I had ketchup on a table or something and didn't notice, and this material went in the ketchup, like I think that this would maybe stain. I'm not sure. It kind of feels like jeans in a way, but it also feels like it has a layer on top of it. So I'm not 100% sure what this material is. And the only other thing that I could see maybe being an issue is whenever you fold the keyboard underneath, the difference between that and with the Smart Keyboard Folio is the Smart Keyboard Folio, the keys on there, like I was saying before, they're kind of like a different weird material. So nothing can get underneath and those keys can't break off. My only concern would be is if you were traveling with this and you had it folded under and somehow something got under one of these keys and popped it off, or I don't know. I just think that something could potentially happen with these keys if you have the keyboard folded under. I could be wrong. Obviously, that would need a long-term test to see if that would eventually be an issue. But yeah, that would be something that would have to come down the road. So depending on which way I go with these, I could maybe do a follow-up if I end up keeping this case. But my takeaways on this case are for half the price of this one, if the things I brought up, or I'm sure you saw in other videos, if you think that you might like this case, or you like some of the features it has, like the function keys, like the keyboard flipping under and stuff like that, you are no way going to be disappointed with this keyboard. It is in case. It's awesome. I'm thoroughly impressed, and I think the fact that Logitech was able to work with Apple on this case is why this case feels so good and so comparable to this. Obviously, you're buying an Apple product, they're going to jack the price up. But if that price is too much, don't even think twice. I would go with this one. I think you would be totally fine. If price isn't an issue to you and you like some of these features and you got to have, Apple's products, then definitely go with the Magic Keyboard. Quite honestly, I think I need to play around with them more. I can't make up my mind yet. I like them in different situations, and I almost wish I could do like a hybrid of these keyboards. I wish this could elevate the iPad like this one, but I wish this one had the function keys like this one does. Because to me, kind of the point of the trackpad and everything like that is to not have to constantly be reaching up and touching the screen. And to do certain things, I mean, it's not a big deal, and you can do it just fine. But just having the keys dedicated right there, that I'm watching a YouTube video, I hit pause, go do something, answer a phone call, hit play, and it just starts playing, and I don't have to reach up and touch the screen. That's really cool to me. But I also like how slick it is that you just stick the iPad there and it just suctions it, and that thing is not going anywhere. And that is a really cool feature of this one. So I don't know, I might need your guys' help. I don't know which one to go with. I am really torn. I found some on eBay of the Magic keyboards going for about $250, $260, and without tax and all that stuff, that's about $75 cheaper. So the closer you get to that like $200 price point, I think I would maybe go with this one. But $275, $260, that's still kind of expensive. That's $100 more than this one. And there really isn't a trade-off. Like, you're getting everything that this one does and almost a little bit more with this. So, you know, if you were really losing out on something big, then I would say, you know, if you can, you know, get the funds, maybe get this one. But really, this one's got some nice features to it, like the thicker trackpad. Like, I can keep my thumb and my pointer finger on here, and they both fit. Like, pinch to zoom, I have more room. Pinch to zoom on here, I start hitting the edges of the screen of the touchpad, and like if I, you know, it's just there's a shorter distance, where here you have more space. And honestly, I think this trackpad's more comfortable than this one, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Sorry, I know this was a long video, but I kind of wanted to touch on the pros and cons of both of these that I found. And I think I'm going to take some more time, and maybe I'll do a follow-up video. I'm definitely going to do a follow-up video on which one I decide to go with. But as of right now, I just don't know. They are both two awesome keyboard cases for the iPad Pro. And just within the first probably 10 minutes of using a trackpad on an iPad, it just feels like it has so much more function to it. It's hard to explain, but if you're in the market for one of these, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I appreciate you sticking to the end if you made it this far. And yeah, give me some suggestions. If I didn't touch on something in this video, let me know. I'm gonna have these keyboards probably throughout the weekend, and then I think I'm gonna have to make my decision on which one I'm gonna go with. So I'm gonna do a couple more tests. I've been swapping them out each day. I use one for the day and one for the other day, and I try to do everything on the iPad that day within the case, just to kind of find, you know, which one suits me better. But as of right now, it's a toss-up. So I hope this video helped you guys out, and stay tuned, because I'll have a follow-up video here shortly, probably this weekend, and I'll see if I can get closer to my decision. So until then, I'll talk to you guys soon.